Rachael Allen, author of A Taxonomy of Love and in just a few weeks, The Summer of Impossibilities, and I am here today to talk to you about plotting because I suck at it. No, really, plotting is my kryptonite, and I have spent so much time reading so many books over the years to try to become a better plotter. I have read about Save the Cat Beat Sheet and Story Genius, and I've looked into the 7-point plot system, and I've listened to podcasts on plotting. So what I'm hoping to do is to take all that knowledge on plotting and condense it so that we can both be better plotters. Okay. So when I write books and when I read books, I like to think about characters. I mean, that's what draws me in. Those are my favorite stories, or stories with characters that I just can't put down. And so even though we're talking about plotting, I feel like that means we also have to be talking about character. And specifically with plotting, I like to think about what is the perfect way to torture this character. And that's an idea I got from Craig Mazin and the Script Notes podcast. There's actually an episode where he goes through how to write a screenplay using Finding Nemo as an example, and I love it. And he knows what he's talking about because he was one of the writers of Chernobyl. So anyway, torturing your characters. So right now, think of the most perfect way to torture your character, and then stop, and then think about something you could do that would hurt them even more. Yeah, especially if you can hurt them ironically, that's a great thing. And then also in thinking about character, I like to think about what wound or misbelief do they have? Like, what past trauma affected them in a way that now it colors the way they see everything in the world and affects every choice that they make. And that idea comes from the book Story Genius. So once I have a character in mind and I think of the perfect way to torture them, and I think of their like wound or misbelief, or like what's that past trauma that's really like wrapped itself around their heart, I feel like I usually by then have a pretty good idea of the hook or the setup for the book, and also the inciting incident, like what's the call to action that gets your character moving. And then once I have that, I like to think, or I think books are most interesting if they take your character from one place at the very beginning to somewhere completely different by the end of the book. So that's what I'm trying to do. And then in order to do that, in order to take your character from someone who has this wound and these things that they want in the world, you have to throw a lot of obstacles at them, and that's where the torture is coming in. So like just obstacle after obstacle to test them and keep them from getting what they want, and to make their past trauma get in the way of them getting what they want, until you eventually have this big climactic event. And I have a friend who told me she doesn't like to think of the climax of a book as a plot point. She likes to think of it as a choice. And it's a choice that goes against every other choice your main character has made in the book until now. And it completely transforms them as a person. And I just really love thinking about it that way, because I think that makes it so much more interesting and character driven than just thinking about, oh, it's it's the peak on that little drawing that you make of what books are supposed to look like. So yeah, transformation. That is what I'm looking for with my characters and with my plot, and I hope it was helpful for you, and I can't wait to see what you come up with. Thanks, y'all.